A cartoon about a short boy going about the daily struggles in his life? That idea doesn't sound so interesting. Kinda bland. But throw in a twist. He's not just short, he's shrunk. This is George Shrinks. Based on the children's story by William Joyce, George is a suburban youth with an unexplained birth defect. Namely, he's only 3 inches tall. Life at that size presents many challenges. He overcomes most obstacles with his intellect and gadgets. George's life turns into an adventure most kids can only dream of. Combine that with an Art Deco aesthetic, and it's exactly what I was looking for. To remind you all, this is just my opinion. Here is every George Shrinks episode reviewed in 10 words or less. This is a blatant ripoff of every Disney film reviewed in 10 words or less by JelloApocalypse. Links in the description. This is the second time I've tried this format to review a series, and I'm hoping it catches on. The scoring system is the same as seen in the other video. Whole numbers ranging from -10 to 10. The higher negative numbers are ones enjoyed ironically, and the higher positive numbers are enjoyed genuinely. George Shrinks is a series that aired at just the right time in my life. The start of my fascination with Art Deco architecture, B-movies, and vintage aesthetics. Let's get this started. Please enjoy this list of rapid-fire reviews. I have reservations, but I think I'll stay anyway.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
Circus Tycoon? What will they think of next? Damn sports movies being predictable and whatnot. If the Disney version was too intense for you, your body will go through changes. Big changes. Imagine all the toll booths they had to pay. Not bad, could use more manhandling. This is where trashy waifus come from.
Don't tell my heart, my achy, breaking heart.
Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for?
You could have just let nature sort this one out. So basically George is cosplaying through this entire episode? Imagine cleaning up a turd the same size as you.
It's an ugly planet! A blood planet!
And now you know how drugs are smuggled internationally. What if someone put you in a cage, George? The Indiana Jones theme begins to play. Is this that nanny state I hear talk of? The contest is dead with the sound of music.
To a grave deep in the briny.
I find the lack of predators in this swamp surprising.
I was frozen today!
Sorry, George, you will be replaced with CGI. Trespassing is okay if you are in the same fandom. Revolt of the Robots Part 1, Revolt of the Robots Part 2.
There's my little Snoop Froggy Frog.
Presenting Generic Evil Corporation number 69,000. Adjust the clock for daylight savings time, Scotty. One of those days when you're literally treated like crap. Every good science fiction story has a lesser quality sequel.
Come with me, lesbian seagull. Settle down and rest with me.
We all die. You either kill yourself or get killed.
The doll makes him
expand dog.
Hey, jerk! Speed kills!
Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the sky.
scrub all you want, you can't clean a dirty mind. And now for the unironic top 3. George versus the Space Invaders. It's all I was looking for in a vintage sci-fi plot. Alien invaders, and our hero trying to thwart them. Within the episode, there's a genuine appreciation for sci-fi B-movies. And this isn't the last time this is going to happen. Sunken Treasures. A solid nautical adventure in George's own backyard. It's able to maintain tension and gravitas more than would be par for this series. It touches on themes of losing who and what we cherish the most, and also what lengths we can be driven to when trying to get them back. George really gets in over his head this time. Ants in the Pantry. George versus the Insect Horde. The conflict is a spectacle to behold. George pits his intellect against the bugs' massive numbers in a fight for his right to picnic. He's got to contend with flying pests, creepy crawlers, and a whole colony of ants. George does everything short of actually killing the invading bugs. It's just like the writers were trying to channel Starship Troopers. And now the ironic top 3. Monster Mash. I appreciate this episode more so as a love letter to cheesy vintage B-movies, the old sci-fi horror films they would riff on MST3K. The writers of this episode must have that same fondness for these old relics as I do. The mystery of the uninvited prankster is the main plot, but it's not what I latched onto. King Kongo. I love this one for the same reason as Monster Mash, but this one applies to giant monster movies, killer kaiju, more along the lines of the deadly mantis than the brain from Planet Arrows. The plot is a paper-thin imitation of King Kong, taken in a metaphysical direction, since in this episode, George tries to make his own monster movie. At the start of the episode, George is even attempting to make a Godzilla knockoff. The episode comes off as a tribute to the struggles of filmmaking, a similar celebration as seen in Monster Mash, but this feels more earnest. Toy George. Most episodes try to do something related to the idea of being small, shrunk into toy size and interacting with various facets of our world. Those limitations that being shrunk would bestow on a person, contrasted with the possibilities of being small. Adventures in places big people can't go, spelunking down the drain, traveling by mail, navigating through massive machinery and clockwork, civil living in a dollhouse, and diving into a water fountain. Things normal-sized people can't do. Eating in large food, interacting with usually tiny creatures at the same size, and RC racing with vehicles you can actually climb into. This one tackles the subject of interaction between big and small people, namely children treating toy-sized people as toys, because of course they would. George's cousin Skylar comes to visit, and it looks like someone didn't give her the memo that George is an actual human being. George gets manhandled and objectified like the living doll he is. Pardon me, that's cruel. George doesn't really deserve such things, but it would amuse me if there was more malice behind Skylar's actions. It makes me wonder why something like this hasn't happened before. Nearly everyone George meets finds his size unremarkable. It's strange. It's as if his condition is common, or being born toy-sized. Is that how it works in his world? I could easily imagine a morally bankrupt version of Becky, George's best friend, wanting to keep him all to herself, a little captive, her own resentful doll. I really wish Disney was still making Gigantic. And now for the worst 3 episodes. Coach Shrinks. It's just a sports movie, and all the uninteresting baggage that comes with it. The only noteworthy detail of this episode is that the Storks didn't win the final game. That's a reasonable message, that we can all try as hard as we can, improve greatly, but still fail. It looks like George took the message of teamwork to heart after his encounter with those ants.
You've got soft hands.
I use aloe vera lotion with lanolin.
Well now, that's a remarkably unusual trait for a young man to have, taking good care of his hands like that. Wonder why he does it. Oh After all these years, I finally figured out that was probably a masturbation joke. Damn. From bad to worse. George is constantly underestimated by his aunt. He tries to prove himself as a capable boy of his own age, but things repeatedly go wrong. This is somewhat tedious for both George and the audience. It's not quite the fun adventure we're promised from this series. It could have even happened in a story where the main character isn't tiny. As grim as this might sound, it's about a person with a disability being treated as less capable than he should be for his age. Sad, really. I'm not sure how someone in this situation would resolve the conflict. The episode suggests you should just be yourself and let your talents and abilities speak for themselves. That might work, it might, but I'm not so confident. Dog Sitting Miss Daisy and Tank Full of Trouble. It's a tie between these two episodes. They both have the same problem. It's just George babysitting animals. This task is more challenging for someone at his size, but it's just an average assignment. It's not an adventure that results from George's size, it's just a stock storyline. Why did they even make these? And now for a noteworthy episode, Return of the Space Invaders. This would be in the top 3, but it's just a little too friendly for me. The plot bears a resemblance to E.T., but the characters are able to resolve their conflict directly and peacefully.
Whoa. Hiya. I'm George.
He says, thank you for helping Manny. Oh, I mean Manigishi get back to the ship. And he's offering a visit to their home planet in return. What are you doing? He said they'd be honored if you join them.
Ooh, meteor. The meteor shower started.
And we've got the best seats in the house.
Wow.
Manny says thank you, George, for being a good celestial neighbor and helping a stranger in need. But they've got to get home before the shower gets too dangerous.
Okay. Bye. I'm gonna miss you, Manny.
So if his surname is Shrinks, was he always destined to be tiny? Does this mean his condition runs in the family? Also, what's with this running gag of organic food products? George's family seems to have an obsession with organic food products, and if Fallout has taught me anything, it's that this organic food is at odds with the vintage aesthetic, because, you know, preservatives. Well, anyway, thank you all for watching. You'll find the complete citation in the description.
You can push me, shove me, turn me around, but I'm no girl's toy. You can tie me, toss me upside or down, but I'm no girl's toy. I sing my own sweet melody, I go my own sweet way. I won't beg round tomorrow for the kind of affection that was free today. Oh, you can squeeze me, tease me, say I'm your own, but I'm no girl's toy. You can charm me, chase me, follow me home, I won't be coy.